again, my little yarnivores and spiderettes. Fiber Spider back again with another tutorial just for you. And today I am super excited to show you a piece that I created. It is the spider web blanket. Yes, I am super duper excited. This is actually really quite simple once you get the hang of it. It is only a 4-row repeat. Yes, you heard me correctly. Very simple. Basic stitches involved, double crochets, front post double crochets, and back post double crochets. That's really it. It's that simple. And it has a really lovely embossed kind of feel to it. You can make some alterations as far as the spacing in between where the web strands are, you know, what have you. Now for this project, I used Pound of Love. Lion Brand was kind enough to send me the yarn. This is Elephant Gray. Thank you so much, Lion Brand. Link to that in the description box down below. And I'm not done with this particular piece yet, but I wanted to get it big enough so that you could get the idea as to where it would go from here. But I didn't finish it because I really wanted to post this video right now so that you would have enough time to do one of your own in time for Halloween or what have you. Absolutely love this. Offhand, I would say you would probably need 2 skeins of Pound of Love in order to make this. Also, I would strongly suggest using a solid color, and I would suggest not using black only because you really wouldn't see this really lovely texture. Also, I used for this, I have my hook right here, I used a size K 6.5 millimeter hook. You can, of course, use whatever works for you, but I always like to let you guys know what it is that I used in case if you want to try to duplicate the results. But personally, I think this would look awesome in a white, an off-white, a gray, but I wouldn't go so far as black, quite frankly. Also, I'm really happy with this because unlike a lot of other spiderweb blankets, this is not so meshy and lacy that it gets completely lost and entangled and ensnared. This one, it's a bit more solidified and embossed looking, and I'm so proud of what I've been able to figure out. Oh, anyway, without further ado, let's get started. All right, first things first with round. I'm always wanting to say row 1. No, it's round 1. And when I said before that it's only a 4-row repeat, no, it's a 4-round repeat. So bear with me. All right, so we are going to start, of course, with our slip knot naturally, and a chaining up of 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, from this point, you could do, say, like another couple of chains and then do a slip stitch to the first chain and create a ring, or do the magic loop method. I like to do things, well, my own way. So now this first chain is what we're going to be stitching into. The next 2 chains are going to give us the height that we need. However, they are not going to count as an actual stitch in this particular case, and I'll show you why later. However, we need into this first chain a total of 12 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And my yarn is already tangling up on me. Sorry, folks. I'm trying here. All right, how many did I do? My goodness, I'm a hot mess. All right, let's see. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, sorry about that. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right, then going to slip stitch to the first double crochet, not in this chain 2, but the actual first double crochet. So ignore this here and go into the top of the first double crochet and slip stitch. And then you can pull your tail and cinch up the center. Now, the reason why I did the chaining up of 2 but not actually utilizing it is because otherwise you end up with like this weird gappy gap going on in between your first stitch and your last stitch, and I was really trying to avoid that. So that is round 1. Round 2. All right, so going to again chain up 2. We're always going to start by chaining up 2. Now, this right here is our previous chain 2. We're going to be working around the post, this post right here, and we're going to alternate between doing front post, double crochets, and double crochets, but with a slight twist. So the first things first, going around this post right here for a front post, double crochet, and then going in between the stitches in this space here, not into the actual stitch, but in between with a double crochet. And we're going to do that for all 12 stitches to create a total of 24 stitches. Now, I did experiment using, a different initial number, and actually I found that 12 worked out really, really well. I did experiment with using, 10 stitches, bumping it up to 20, even 20 stitches, trying to bump it up to 40, but actually this worked out best for me. I did a lot of experimenting, trust me. So again, going around the post of the double crochet, and then a double crochet in between the stitches, around the post for a front post, and in between with a double. And we're just going to do this all the way around, alternating between front post and double crochets in between the stitches. And I have found that this makes for a nice solid increase. All right, and we're almost there, I think. And of course, I'm going to double count. You know I am. Oops. And that was around the post, and then in between, and around the post, and in between, around the post, and in between, and I believe one more, I think. Around the post, and in between. I'm pretty sure that was it. Okay, so let's do a double count real quick. And of course, we can pull this a little bit tighter. All right, so what do we got? We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. Perfect, because again, we don't count this initial chaining of 2. All right, so then going to do a slip stitch into the top of where we have our front post double crochet. There you go. And that is the end of round 2. All right, round 3. Okay, so right now, these posts that we did, those are most important. It's the stitches in between that are going to be altered in this particular round. So I'm going to start by chaining up 2 once again, and then going around this front post double crochet, do another front post double crochet. Okay. Then in each of the double crochets in between, we're going to increase those. So into each of these 2 double crochets. And that's how we're doing our increase for round 3. So then doing a front post double crochet around the front post. So it's going to keep consistent with itself, you see. And then 2 doubles into the double. And then a front post around the front post. And then 2 doubles into the double. And then a front post around the front post. And so on and so forth all the way around. Really quite simple. And then when you go all the way around, you would end by doing your front post in this front post, and then 2 double crochets into this double crochet right here, and then skipping over this chaining of 2, and then do a slip stitch into the front post double crochet right here. And that'll be the end of round 3. So we're getting there. Alrighty, I'll meet you for round 4. All right, so for round 4, we still need to do another increase before our horizontal bars. So it's going to read pretty much the same as the last round. We're going to start by chaining up 2, and then around the front post, do a front post. Pretty much the beginning of every round, really. And then, so we have 2 double crochets. We're going to increase on the first one and just do a regular double crochet into the second. So it's 2 double crochets into the first. Then 1 into the second. And then front post, the front post. 2 double crochets into the first. One double crochet into the second, and then front post around the front post. And so just keep doing this for the rest of the entire round, being sure to do 2 in the first, 1 in the second, and then front post around the front post. And then when you get all the way around, again, you would front post into this front post, 2 double crochets into this first one, 1 double crochet into the second, and then slip stitch into the top of this front post double crochet. And that is round 4. And then round 5 is where things are going to get a little interesting. In more ways than one. Again, I will explain why. All right, be back in a flash. All right, round 5. Now, this is actually the beginning of the repeat already. Yes. So, and this is also where things are going to get a little bit different because we're going to create the sidebars. Now, that's part of it. The other part of it is that, see how we did our increase on this side? Okay. Now, if we continued to do our increase just on this side, you're going to end up with a swirling effect with your front post double crochets. Now, if that's what you're going for, by all means, go for it. However, I wanted the spokes, if you will, to remain as straight as possible. And so we're going to do our increase for this next row on the left side. And by alternating, doing it on the right side and the left side, it sort of balances itself out. And I found that that really, 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 really helped. So we're going to start by chaining up 2 and do a front post into the front post. The spokes of the spider web, for lack of a better term, wagon wheel, spider web, what have you, these are always going to be front post double crochets. Now, in the rest of these are going to be back post double crochets. So going in from behind, grabbing the post, do your back post double crochet. And this is what's going to create the horizontal web work. So do 1 and then do another back post. And then into this third one, 2 back post double crochets into that same stitch. So I did 1, and then we need to do another one. It's a little bit tricky at first, but with practice, you will get the hang of it. So as you can see, we did our increase on this side. We had it on this side, now we have it on this side. And that I found is actually pretty important if you want to keep your spokes straight. All right, so then into the next front post, do a front post. Like so. And then back post, 2 back posts in the same stitch. A little bit fiddly, but it is so worth it. So get a back post. Back post. And then 2 back posts around the same post. Like so. Then another front post. Then back post. Back post, and then 2 back posts. Then another front post. Back post. Oh, there we go. Back post, and then 2 back posts. And then, of course, another front post. So you're going to keep doing this all the way around. So you can see how our increase is going to work for this round. All right, so keep going all the way around. And so the last repeat that you have would be your front post here. Then it would be back post, 2 back posts around this post here, and then slip stitch to the top of this front post double crochet. Now, what I was saying before about how you can space these bars out further or shorter apart, you can, instead of doing this back post for this particular round, you could just do the increase on this side and just keep growing out and then at some other point do the back posts. That's totally up to you. It is a matter of personal preference. But for the sake of doing a 4-round repeat, I felt that this worked pretty well. So to each their own. I say march to the beat of your own bongos if, so be it. So I'm going to meet you at the next round, and then we shall continue. Alrighty. All right, round 6. Now rounds 6, 7, and 8 are all pretty much the same, except where you put the increases. But 6, 7, and 8, they are a lot easier than round 5 because I don't know about you, but I've always had a hard time with back post double crochets. I prefer the front post myself. So I'm going to start by chaining up 2 and then front post around the front post as per usual. Now, keep in mind that we did our increase on the left. Well, now we need to do the increase on the right. So the first double crochet gets 2 double crochets, and then 3 more regular double crochets. Then a front post. Two doubles into that first double. Then 3 regular doubles, 1 in each. And then a front post. And this is pretty much the entirety of the round, once again. Like I said, this pattern really is simple once you get the hang of it. So after doing your front post, 2 doubles into the first double, and then a double into each of the next 3. And then front post. So looking back at what we've been working on, see over here, when we had our regular double crochets, it was on the right. Then when we did our back posts, it's on the left. Now it's on the right again. And it's that going back and forth with where you put the increases that you want to keep track of, definitely. The rest of it sort of falls into place. So just keep on keeping on, doing your front posts in your front posts, 2 double crochets into the first double crochet, 1, 2, 3 regular double crochets, front post in the front post, all the way around. And then when you reach the beginning, it would be front post in the front post, 2 doubles in the first, 1, 2, 3 regular doubles, and then slip stitch to the top of the front post double crochet. All right, and then I will meet back up with you for round 7. Okie dokie. All right, round 7. All right, so once again, yes, I'm going to start by chaining up 2 and doing a front post in the front post. So 1 and 2. Front post around the front post. Now, we did our increase on the right. Now we need to do it on the left. All about alternating. So, double crochet 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 in the last one. So that would be 5 and 6. Okay. Front post around the front post. Then double in 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 in the last one for 5 and 6. Front post around the front post. Then 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then into the last one, 2 to make 5, and 6. And then, of course, front post around the front post. And that is how you are going to proceed for the rest of round 7. Just go all the way around doing front posts in the front post. And then for the first 4 double crochets, do 1 in each, and then 2 in the last one. Go all the way around. And then, of course, when you have come full circle, do, why is my focus going in and out here? Sorry about that. Front post in the front post, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 regular ones, 2 in the last, slip stitch to the front post double crochet, and there you have it. All right, so I'll meet back up with you for round 8. All right, round 8, which is the last round for the repeat. So again, we're going to start by chaining up 2 and doing a front post around the front post. Nothing new about that. Okay, so now in the last round, we did our increase on the left side. Now we need to do it on the right side. So once again, 2 doubles into the first double, and then a double crochet into each leftover stitch for this side. So that's 1, 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right, then front post around the front post, then 2 in the first, so that's 1 and 2, and then 1 in each for the next 5 for a total of 7. And again, this is pretty much how the rest of the round is going to play out. It's really that simple. If you were looking for something more complex, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but no, it's really that easy. And so we've got our 7, and then front post into the front post, and then 2 into the first, and then 1 in each of the next 5 for a total of 7. And then, of course, end with another front post. And front post. Like so. So, that being said, continue along on your merry way, all the way around, doing front posts in the front posts, 2 in the first, 1 in each of the next 5 for a total of 7. And then when you have come full circle, do your front post in the front post, 2 in the first, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 regular double crochets, then slip stitch to the top of the front post double crochet. And that is the end of round 8 and the end of the repeat, because then, after this, it would be another of the back post double crochet rounds with the increase on this side. And so I'm going to get you started with that, and then you can pretty much go from there. So I will meet back up with you for round 9, which would also technically be round 5 again, because that is the repeat, but I'll be back. Okie dokie pokey. All right, so we are back to round 5 again, or round 9, however it is that you wish to put it, but this is really, where the repeat would continue from. Now, as far as where you would leave off, I would say leave off at the end of a round 8, because if you end on, say, a round 5, and you have this lip here, it has a tendency to curl the piece, which I'm not a big fan of. So what you would do is, if you wanted to continue on, do your chaining up of 2, your front post double crochet, and again, just like we did with this row here, the increase was on the left. And if you're lost, well, just look at the last row you did. The increase is right here on the right. So you would do your increase on the left, and it's just a matter of doing back post double crochets until you go all the way across with your back post double crochets, and then 2 back post double crochets into that last post. And I absolutely love how it is as easy as being a 4-round repeat, which personally I'm a huge fan of simple repeats myself. And of course, my yarn decided to get tangled right this second. Of course it did. Who's he whatsits? There we go. Okay. So just going to get to the end here, just doing my back post double crochets. And as much as I'm not a huge fan of back post stitches, because I think they're a bit more fiddly than they need to be, they do the trick. All right, so I have this last back post double crochet to do right here. And so we're going to do 2 into this post. So we've got 1, and going in again for another back post. And there we go. And then of course you would do your front post, and then you would do the exact same thing for the next section. It would be back posting all the way across, and then 2 back posts around this last back post, then a front post, etc., 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 all the way around until you reach your last segment, front post around the front post, back post, back post, back post, and then into this last one right here, 2 back posts around this post. And then of course you would slip stitch to the top of your front post, and then you would do 3 rounds of front posts with double crochets, and it would start with, because we have our increase on the left here, it would start with your increase on the right, then increase on the left, then increase on the right, and then your back post round. How you like that? I told you it was relatively simple, and it's one of those great patterns where you can really go on autopilot, and you can put your piece down and come back to it, and you'll be like, oh, yep, that's where I was. So it's really not a problem. Another way of remembering is, as far as the stitch count, these rows where you are doing your bars, if you will, these numbers are divisible by 4. This was 4, this was 8, and then the next one would be 12. All right, just a little trick for you. And I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. I loved figuring this out for you guys because I had so much fun, and I hope that you like it too. And also, I hope that you give it a whirl in time for Halloween this year. And this, I think, would make also, in addition, if you used cotton, I think this would make a lovely piece for your table, perhaps even a hot plate because it is raised a little bit. Or this also could make a really cool rug. However, I would suggest using some backing, the non-skid backing for your piece if you wanted to use this as a rug. I think that would look really pretty darn cool too. So if you like this video, please give a little thumbs up button down below because I appreciate your appreciation. And I do work really, really hard to, try to get this stuff done in a timely fashion so that you can do it for the holidays. And so, that would be really nice. Also, please hit subscribe for more videos, whether it's knitting, crocheting, or audiobook narration. I do try to post as often as I can. And also, I do have my other YouTube channel, Fiber Spider Games, where I do video game playthrough and commentary. Would love to see you there. And also, again, thank you to Lion Brand for supplying the yarn for today. And I also made an announcement not that long ago. I do have a P.O. box as of now, and I'm going to put the information in the description box down below about that because there's another YouTuber, Rose Likes Crochet. I love her. I think she's an absolute pip, and she does what's called Happy Mail. And I thought it might be fun to do some Happy Mail on this channel too. So if you want to drop me a line, hey, I'll give the information down below for my P.O. box if you'd like to. And so listen, guys, until next time, I want all of you to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, and above all, stay stitching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.